Viking here with Nagel's Gun Shop in San Antonio, Texas. And today I've got another exciting new offering from Staccato. We have two versions of it shown here. This is the Staccato CS with the full-size grip. And we have one here with the DLC barrel and one with the stainless barrel. That's the only difference between these two. This is brand new. These just came out. It's in a strategic partnership with them. We're going to show this to you today. This particular version is the same CS frame that you're used to, same slide, but it has this longer grip on it. Now this grip is part of their new platform design that has the skinnier magazines. These are, not super thick 45 caliber mags that have them to have 9mm in them. These are actually dedicated 9mm mags that are only the width of the 9mm double stack column of cartridges. And as a result, it allows the whole gun to be made thinner, right? Same thing you see on the CS. It's not that part's not new, but what is new is it's the longer full-size grip. So instead of having a 15-round magazine or so, it has a 17-round full-capacity service pistol quality magazine. So it's got that going for it. It gives it a nice full-size grip. As you can see, I have only mid-size hands, so if you have very large hands, you'll still be able to get your entire hand on this grip. It's not compact at all. It is a full-size grip. It is very thin, though. It's, for a duty pistol, it's a very thin grip. You have plenty of surface on the front and back, though, to get a nice grip and control recoil. And one thing that's nice about this configuration is it's kind of like the Glock 19X, right? It has the shorter, compact, like 3.5-inch barrel, but it has the full-size service pistol frame and grip. And the thing that gets you is better recoil control. Now, the shorter barrel may actually make the recoil seem a little snappier, but it doesn't take you off target as far because there's not as much reciprocating mass. And you also have this full-size grip to get a really good purchase with both hands. So not only do you have a full purchase for your firing hand, your support hand can also lock under there and get a lot of surface area on the gun and have really good recoil control. So just like the Glock 19X, people admired it because compared to the Glock 19, you had better recoil control and management. The same thing can be expected with this. You have a lot of grip, not a lot of slide, and recoil control should be very good with this. You should be able to keep the gun on target very easily, make very fast follow-up shots. You're not going to have to bring the gun back down hardly at all. So that's a really nice feature it has going for it. This is available with kind of the typical Staccato features for their new platform, and you can have the option of either getting the cuts or not. These cuts are really awesome. We do like to recommend these. They look cool, but we also will be able to order this for you without that if that's something you want. It's available with and without the DLC barrel. So we have an example of each here. We have the stainless non-finished barrel and then the DLC finish. We really do like to recommend the DLC barrel. For one thing, it looks awesome. That solid jet black that matches the slide and all of that. But also it holds up really well. The DLC finish, it's diamond-like carbon. It's basically little diamonds that are so small that light can't even escape from them. That's why it's black. And it's one of the hardest coatings you can get on a pistol or any gun parts. And I have knives that have this coating on it that are very old and have held up really well. If you put a fresh coat of oil on them, clean them up, they look brand new, even though I've carried them for years. And it works just as well as a firearms finish. It holds up great to holster use, holds up great to firearms cycling. It is a really, really good finish. And Staccato does this finish in-house. They have the machines to do that DLC coating actually at their factory in the Texas Hill Country that I visited. They do all of this themselves for all the parts that are steel. So it's really cool that they actually control the process. They're not trusting someone else to do it for them, and they're not waiting for parts to get shipped out and shipped back to a finisher. They're doing it in their factory when they make the firearm. So that's really neat. We do tend to recommend getting that DLC finish. It also holds up really well. It definitely wears better than plain steel or any other finish that is really out there right now. So this gun is a really good option for carry. I think that if you're looking for something that is as capable as a duty gun can be, but is very easy to conceal because it's got that shorter slide and barrel, but also shoots like a full-size, massive service pistol, this is definitely going to be the one that I would go with. It does have the option of either the flat trigger or the curved trigger. Most people these days tend to get the flat trigger. There's arguments both ways. You know, curved triggers do have the advantage of you don't have to be paying attention to your grip as much. You just can put your finger on the trigger and the trigger will center your finger, and you're not going to be trapped at the top or bottom against the frame or the trigger guard. But the other side is if you're, you know, an expert shooter and you have a consistent grip, you may want your finger to fall either higher or lower based on what's natural to you, and a flat trigger is better for that. So it just kind of depends on your preference and things like that and shooting styles. It does have, of course, that standard stuff for Staccato now, the ambi safety. It has one style of sights. These are ones you can rack off of a, you know, a desk or some other kind of surface, maybe a belt. It has fiber optic front. It does have the optic cut, so you can take all this off, stick an optic on there. You know, it does have the option of either getting it without the cuts if you prefer to not have those. You know, people have different opinions on it. I think these look really cool. They are nice in that regard. You can, of course, mount lights and lasers to it. Now, you do need to consider this is a shorter slide and barrel, so some of the really long lights are going to stick out a lot and might defeat the purpose of having a smaller gun. But there are lots of options for lights that would be flush with this or not stick out much. I'd probably lean towards those. But honestly, these days you have plenty of options for pistol lights that work really well. So I'd highly recommend those. The magazines are also, you know, really awesome. These are 17 round capacity, but they don't waste any width. You'll notice there's no big grooves running down the side of the magazine that are there to waste space that you see on the older style 2011 mags. Does not have that. This magazine is the width of the ammunition column pretty much. There is no wasted space, and that lets you make a much thinner grip compared to earlier 2011 designs. So it's got a lot of things going for it. I highly recommend it. If you want to take a look at one, we have a couple currently on hand. They're not going to, you know, release these to every dealer. Only certain dealers right now, select Staccato dealers, will be able to carry these initially. And we're one of the ones that was selected for that. We got some of the first ones out of the factory, so that's pretty awesome. If you want to take a look at one, we're definitely the place to go right now. We can put it in your hands, let you take a look at it, walk you through the features, see what it feels like for you. You know, also, if you just want to call us on the phone and give us a ring, we can talk to you about any questions you have on it. You can reach us at 210-342-5420. And you can visit us in person at 6201 San Pedro Avenue. And you can see it on our website, nagelsguns.net. We'd be glad to talk to you about this some more, talk to you in person if you can come visit us, let you actually handle one, and, you know, you can always give us a call.